An optional sonogram is the one decision that allowed KJ Tiefenwerth to keep playing the game he loves and potentially saved his life. Hockey has been a huge part of Tiefenwerth's life ever since he was a child.
My brother was big into hockey growing up, so ever since I was, I'd say 2 years old, I started walking around on roller skates and then ice skates. And initially I played roller hockey first, got into ice hockey, and just like I said, watching him play my whole life was just kind of got me into it.
Tiefenwerth, who transferred to Quinnipiac from UMass Amherst, never thought that the sonogram would reveal that he had a benign tumor on his heart, with no signs leading up to it before being discovered by the doctors.
Not one symptom, nothing. And it was like that. The way I would describe it to you is like a peanut M&M on like a string. It was on the valve of my heart. So when you see on a sonogram, you know, like when a baby gets a sonogram, it would wobble like this. And if it like sucked into my valve or broke off into my bloodstream, I could have had like a serious problem, like heart attack, stroke, something like that. So lucky they were able to just go in and snip it off, and it was benign, not cancerous. So I'm all set there and good to go now for the most part.
After the tumor was found, Tiefenwerth did not have much time to prepare for the previously unplanned and very unexpected open heart surgery.
He ran his fingers down my chest and told me in a few days that I'd have to be in open heart surgery.
Going into the surgery, there was no guarantee that Tiefenwerth would ever be able to play hockey again.
But lucky enough, they were able to just clip it off with no problem, and you know, I still have my valve and everything's fine.
After nearly a year of rehab and getting back in shape, Tiefenwerth was able to return to the ice with his new team, but it did not come without some difficulties.
And went in the best shape of my life, came out in by far the worst shape of my life. So just to get back into it was like, it was, you know, took 20 steps back. So it was really tough.
While recovering from the surgery, Tiefenwerth was forced to redshirt for a year, which meant he had to sit out for the entire 2013-2014 season.
Just to see him battle for a year as a redshirt, knowing that, you know what, I'm not going to play this year, like at all, period, like no matter what happens. And just seeing the way he worked and the way he, you know, he was with all the guys all the time, and he was never like, oh, people should feel bad for me. You know?
While going through something as life-changing as this, Tiefenwerth couldn't have done it without the support of his teammates.
The guys went and visited him in the hospital and stayed in touch with him, and he came back and, you know, visited when he could.
But they were very supportive, and there was times where I would almost pretty much collapse on the ice, and just you know, they were there for me. They always helped me out. They would always say like, calm down, or like, you know, sometimes I would be a little embarrassed to tell the trainer I wasn't feeling up to it, you know, because I didn't want to look like I was complaining or anything, and they would step in for me and say like, you know, KJ might have had enough or something along those lines. So I couldn't ask for, like I said, a better team to come into. They were very supportive about the whole thing.
I'm Tom Cunningham, Q30 Sports.